Morning guys, it's Monday again. The intro to the video is actually Bank Holiday Monday. So as you can see, not a very successful, well it was, but kind of wasn't. I'll explain. The P38 had to be towed home. So I'll explain all this in a bit, but let's go back to last week because there wasn't a great deal done last week, but I'll put that in now and then we'll come back to the P38. Morning, it's Monday again. We have got the, where is it, there, manifold gasket for the TD5. So let's get back on it and get this finished and get it out the door. To get the bolts in, we've got to use the masking tape trick because they'll fall out quite easily. So a bit of masking tape around them just to hold them in while you get them in situ. And then once they've started threading, that'll come off. Okay, we're all back together. I've just ordered a drive belt for it because as you can see the edge is a little frayed. I've just done the bleed procedure, ignition on, press the accelerator pedal 5 times, the engine management light flashes and it goes for its bleed procedure obviously because we've been using fuel or playing with fuel bits, so let's make sure it starts and doesn't leak. Well, she runs, it's a start. Everything looks dry, but I'll leave it running for a minute. I haven't got the fan back on yet, obviously, because I've got to do the belt, so I won't run it too long, but just to make sure there's nothing running out of it. Right, whilst I'm waiting for the auxiliary belt for that to come in, I've brought in the P38 because I've still got wiper issues. They seem to want to work when they want to work. There's no rhyme or reason to it. You could drive sort of half an hour with the wipers on and there's nothing. All of a sudden, they start working. Now, is it a bump? You'd think I'd go over more bumps within half an hour, but who knows? So what I'm doing is taking the scuttle panel out and I'm just going to test connections, see whether they're getting live. When you lift the relay out and put it back in, it clicks when the wiper's on. So that tells me that the fuse box is getting power, but is it sending it out to the wiper motor? So I'm going to have all this off and test the connections. So this trim is clipped with these. I've pulled it out one end and then slid it along. So I'll have to put all these clips in when it goes back together onto the actual trim and clip it in. But for now, I'm just undoing all these to get to the wiper motor. Right, I've got to the wiper motor and I've stripped back one of the wires just to see whether, if we put direct live to it, whether it works. So let's see, shall we? So I've got a direct live on the fuse box here. I know the earth works on that because I've already tested that. So let's put live on. There we go. Right, so we know the motor isn't at fault, so it is a wiring between there and the fuse box. Joy! Right, this relay clicks when the wiper motor is flat out, but it doesn't click over to power. I think it's a switched earth because there is no, yeah, as I say, there's a live in, but there's no live out. I've changed the relays, swapped them all around, it's exactly the same. So it must be a switched earth. So why can't I find the wiring diagrams like I can of Discovery 2? I don't know. Right, well the Discovery's just been picked up, that's all done. And I have made a temporary repair on this while I find wiring diagrams, etc, etc. Obviously I need to use it. So I have, you might already spotted, I've wired the full flat out wipers to the heated windscreen switch. So when it's working, I'll have intermittent and slow wipe on the stalk. If it's not working at all and I desperately need wipers, I can flick on the heated screen and the wipers will work flat out. Now, no, it's not ideal. No, it's not a permanent fix. it is just a temporary fix. As I'm going around it, I haven't got any wiring diagrams. I can't seem to work out what it is. I think it goes through the BCU and back out, and that's what controls the wiper, because the relays are just literally live. So I think it will go from the stalk into the relays and fuses, out to the BCM. The BCM will then control the speed of the wiper. So either the BCM is no good, and bear in mind this has already been changed once, or there's a break in the wire somewhere. But and say, until I can find a proper wiring diagram to see where it goes, it's hard to ascertain. So that will get me out the stum for this weekend. So a new day and a new job. Today was to fit the toilet door on the Caravan. My friends cut the hole when they were here last week, but I've had to obviously just open it out a bit just to make sure it all fits. Gone a bit crazy with the sealant and boarded up the other bits. Hopefully once that's dry and cleaned up and there's a bit of paint on them, or a bit of paint on the whole Caravan, because that's what I want to do eventually, that will mostly disappear. So that's that done. So now I've got to move on to the bathroom wall. Right, we're getting a door in. It looks like I've cut it a bit too wide at the top, so I just need to trim it a little bit there. And then, yeah, we're getting there. Then what I'll do, this has got to go on the inside, this panel. So I'll put a post in the middle up round the door frame here. And then that will be where the door can screw to on the outside. So, right, I just need to trim a bit off that edge, I think. Right, I've done the inner wall of the door. So that's all solid as a rock now. Got a Discovery door seals around it. So I'm hoping to board this bit here, and have a door on here that closes onto this seal. That is the plan. So, yeah. That is my next building project. And there we go. We got the wood trim on. We got a door on. Obviously, don't know how the door is going to be finished yet, whether it's going to be covered or whether it's going to stay like that. We've trimmed around the edge, don't know yet. But we've got a handle on. Ooh. And we've got magnets on. The only issue I have got is the magnets. Oh, hang on. The magnets are, I tried to stick on with no more nails type stuff. Most of them are stuck because the board is so thin you can't really get a screw on it. That one obviously didn't stick very well, but yeah, they stick closed. So whether we get some trim to go around the outside, and then obviously I'll be able to screw into that, I don't know. I've just put one knob on for a minute. I've got to put one on the back, and that's why it's not tightened up, because the screw is quite long. I built the chest of drawers. They are laid down there ready for travel, because obviously I can't fix them yet until we've done decorating, etc, etc. Yeah, so we're getting there. So let's go on holiday. Okay, so the P38. We went on a little weekend away in the Caravan with our friends, and as we were going to leave, we got down the road a bit and it said gearbox overheat, and it started changing funny. So we turned around, went straight back to the campsite where our friends still were, and hung around for a bit while we called the AA, because I'd rather get there, sit around, have a cup of tea and whatever, than be on the side of the motorway. So I'll show you what I found. Right, as you can see down there, the chassis leg, the engine mount, it's all covered in oil. So I presumed as the gearbox oil cooler pipes went here, and they were absolutely covered, I was imagining that the gearbox oil pipe had failed. Now we also have a struggle to start still, even though I've changed the the glow plugs. But as you can see that pipe, all the air going back in there, there's air in the fuel line from somewhere. So we've got a couple of problems. Now I'll insert a video here of it running. as you can see, it's dripping from underneath the fuel pump. So either the fuel pump's leaking or the connectors are leaking or something. Now, there's obviously air getting in the system. As you can see, there is air going back down that pipe. So I'll need to work that out. And as for the gearbox, I've been saying for ages it needs a service because it was struggling a bit to start. But I think all this muck is actually diesel because, well, I say that. I've cleaned these pipes up. Can you see there? It's a bit wet on this bottom one here. You can see it's a bit wet there. I've cleaned all that and it's a bit damp again. So I'm wondering whether actually, when you're driving under load, whether it's passing through there and leaking out. So I've got two problems. But as you can see, look, there's another air bubble going around that fuel pipe. So there's definitely air in the fuel system. So, where do we start? When it was running a minute ago, I got another video of it, of the back of the fuel pipe where the diesel pipes fit. And there was diesel running down the back of them. So I think I need to check the connections on the back of the fuel pump to make sure it's just not them leaking. So that'll be one of the first things. And I'm also going to service the gearbox, I think. I'm going to drop all the fluid, change the filters, get the gearbox fresh again, because I haven't, oh, hang on. I haven't serviced the gearbox since I've had it. I've serviced the engine, but not the gearbox. So I think that might be one thing to try. Now I've cleaned the unions back on these pipes, is to have a look at those as we go along, once that's serviced. But, hang on a minute. The other end of the pipe is also completely sodden. So I need to clean this one up as well. The top one looks fine, that's dry, but it is the bottom one that appears to be completely covered both ends. So I need to clean this one up as well. And as I say, I think I'll do a service, use it and see if it's coming out of these again. But in the meantime, I need to try and sort this diesel leak, which is probably why I'm only getting 17 miles to the gallon, because it is terrible on diesel. That's probably because it's leaking most of it. So it's time to get rid of this. I've had a few inquiry on bits. I need to get it gone, save a space, get some money back in. So I'm going to spend a couple of days getting the bits off that people want. And then she'll go into the oil onto the trailer. And then obviously when I'll get my Range Rover in and get that fixed, because obviously I can't get this to the scrapyard until my Range Rover's fixed. So, side vents are off. The lower trims with the mud guards are off. Passenger front wiper, no. Passenger front window regulator's off. The same guy with the window regulator wants the near side front air strut. So I've got to get that off. I'm just charging the compressor up to get the wheels off, because they need to be advertised as well. Right, so while I'm waiting for the advert on this to run, I'll give it a few days in this situation. As I say, I can't take it to the scrapyard yet, so I might as well try and sell some bits in the meantime. So while that's sat there, we're going to come back on the Defender for a few days. Because obviously, if I can get this on the road, I haven't got to worry so much about the Range Rover. But obviously, I would like to... Oh, hang on. There we go. Obviously, I would like to start getting the centre dashes in. But as I say, I think I'm going to redo them. I'm not quite happy with the switch fitment, so I think I need to redo them. Right, so I didn't make a whole new panel because I still don't know whether this is all going to work. So there's no point in making another panel. So what I've done is made the holes bigger, and I've made some cover plates to go over. So obviously once this is all painted and we get some matching hex head ones, these are just to hold it down while I test, it shouldn't look too bad at all. And that way, in the event this doesn't work out and I need to change it again, I haven't made a whole complete new one for no reason. So I thought that was just a quick solution onto how to get this to work for the time being. So right, now these are done, I need to strip this down and clean it all up and paint it. And then I need to get the other one over and sort that out as well. Right, after a couple of failed attempts, I have made another plate for the heated seat switches, because I cut them out wrong first time. So they're now in there, and they've got the securing bits behind them, so they're on. So yes, again, I need to just straighten off that panel, and then once it's all painted, it shouldn't be so obvious. And I've got some hex bolts coming at some point. Again, this is just proof of concept before we make proper panels. I don't want to make another full panel just in case this doesn't all work, or it doesn't sit right, or the ergonomics in the vehicle aren't right. So we might need to change it all around. So this is just a temporary plate, just to see how we get on for a few weeks, months, whatever, and then we can make another one if need be. See how this turns out once it's painted and got the bolts on it. So next is to strip it all out and start cleaning it up, ready for a coat of paint. We've got our L322 door card paint booth on the go. Getting a few coats of orange down and a bit of lacquer shortly. So hopefully we'll be able to get the dash back together very soon and get it sort of in and done for now, really. Whilst I'm waiting for paint to dry, I put on the matching spotlights. Obviously I had one that side, but a couple of the LEDs were out. So I got these two off Temu for pretty much nothing. So they probably won't last, but I'll need some in the future, so I might as well put them in. I've wired that one in, that one just needs connecting up. But I thought I'd show you while I was stood back here. So hopefully we'll have some good visibility at the back. Right, so they're painted. We need to leave the lacquer to dry over the weekend before we put all the bits back in it and then fit it in the dashboard. So I'm going to leave this one here. I know it's been a mismatch over a couple of weeks, but there hasn't been much going on this week in all fairness. So have a lovely weekend. We've got what we got this weekend. I'm going to look at an MGZR tomorrow. A bit rotten, so it's going to be a breaker, or you know, whatever. We'll see what it's like when I get there. And then we've got the East Coast Retro's first show of the meet. No, first meet of the year at their normal place in Shotley. All day with auto jumble, so we're going to go and give that a look. And then next week, hopefully with all these bits done, we can crack on, and who knows, maybe even get this Defender outside. Anyway, have a good one. See you guys.